Deputy Michael Collins.
Thank you very much, Corey. Minister, look, we've been talking here about housing for the last number of years since I came into the Dáil, and it hasn't got any better, it's got worse under your leadership. Instead of a clear light going forward, it's more difficult. And you talk about young people, especially down in our own constituency. Rural planning is a savage, horrible issue for a lot of young people, and the disappointment, the hurt, the money they've spent and not getting planning permission it just fills my clinics every weekend with people with very difficult stories. I've spent a lot of money and honest to God people, and have been turned down just because of the book that's there. The book that's there makes sure that people will not get planning, which they twisted or turned it will not get planning. One man said to me, he came to me when his daughter was turned down after spending €10,000. I asked him, why didn't he come to me before she was turned down? The answer he said to me was, Michael, I thought after spending 10,000 of honest money and giving honest reports, as we were asked, that the girl would get planning, and she didn't. And that'll tell you how bad things are in my own constituency at Cork South West. But the whole situation is in a crisis, and you haven't looked and have done nothing in relation to infrastructure in this country. We've seen it this weekend in Bantry with the flooding. Homes, businesses and homes, no money spent on the flood scheme. So go back 4 years, 2 months earlier. I stood in the very same position as I stood last Sunday when Minister O'Donnell came down, OPW, and he promised the earth, moon, the stars again, the same as Patrick O'Donnell had promised 4 years and 2 months earlier, the same as Michael McGrath had promised 4 years and 2 months earlier. They lied to the people of Bantry. They misled the people of Bantry. And their politicians, the last, it was like, good God, it was like an army of Fine Gael around them, like somebody, I won't call it what they call it, a dirty word show of Fine Gael people going around, and they're surrounding him. And when I argue with him, I'll always welcome you or anybody else to West Cork as a minister, if you're a minister. But we want delivery. I wanted a date from Minister O'Donnell to find out exactly when is the first bucket going to be dropped into the ground in relation to the Bantry flood scheme, and when is the last bucket going to come off that ground? And he couldn't give me that answer. But Minister Patrick O'Donovan came down and gave him a promise 4 years and 2 months ago. Minister Michael McGrath did the same, but they throw him a little fork of money then and head off out of town. It's like John Wayne heading into town with his guns all blazing and heads out of town. But nothing happens. The town gets flooded once again. It's an absolute disgrace. The lease and the farmers have been hit here too. Nobody thinks of the farmer. The end of his ground washed away, roadways washed away in their farms around Bantry. It's an absolute disaster, and you've done nothing. So he could have done something with the compensation scheme. Minister Humphreys today said, I think there's objections. There's no objections. It's just that we've had a sleeping government. That's all we've had. And all I'm saying to you is he could have done a rates waiver. The rates waiver would have stood until ye had done your job right. But he wouldn't dare do that because he never will do the job right. And that's why the people of Bantry should reject ye flatly in their surrounds when the day will come, when they'll come knocking on the door, begging them for votes, telling you all the things he's done for them. Shame on Fine Gael, shame on the Greens, shame on Fianna Fáil for non-delivery to the people. Am I correct? My time, yeah? Sorry.
Thank you.